Okay, we are here at my Aunt Carol's Good Bears home place here in Bismarck, North Dakota, and it is February 29th, 2024. A part of being our Native American church family, I'm part of all the efforts here that what we're trying to do today. I was really wanting to interview grassroots relatives that were raised around this way of life, the Native American church. So with that being said, I really wanted to interview one of our good aunties here from the Shell Creek area, Fort Berthold Reservation. So here we are today. So Auntie, appreciate you for taking time out again and all that you do, and I appreciate you for being that good auntie that you are, always encouraging, always praying, and always willing to be of some help, some way, somehow. So I'll go ahead and we'll do some interview, some questions here. So maybe a little introduction, of who you are, your family, and kind of a little bit of background, history, your clan, and kind of along those lines, just so that way people will kind of know who you are, and then just kind of we'll go from there. So I'll turn this time over to you.
Okay, thank you, nephew. I just want to introduce myself, Carol Goodbear, from the Mandan Hidatsa tribe. I'm the daughter of the late Lawrence Goodbear, the late Mary Edith Goodbear. On my maternal side, we come from Mary Redfeather and Conrad Smith. And on my paternal side, we come from the Goodbear, Bearstail family lineage. Grizzly Bear was the original name, and then we changed it and took it on the name Goodbear. So I come from Mandan Hidatsa tribe. Our tribe, that time our leaderships took upon treaties in 1851, and we are a treaty tribe, the Mandan Hidatsa people. And so we have a unique relationship with the government. And so the elders I'm speaking of prayed for us upcoming generations, that we might be educated, that we might learn our history, that we might know where we came from, know where we are, and know where we're going. That's how they prayed over us when we were little children, and prayed for the next coming generations. So I'm honored today. I'm pleased to get to try to help out the Native American Church of North America, the Fort Berthold chapter today, and exchange some information and words about our history, about who we are, and how the Native American Church is influential, crucial part of our lives. And so I introduced myself in that way. In our tribes, we have kinship, clanship, we have rules and protocols. We come from a beautiful culture, and this day and age, I don't have a lot of those teachings anymore, but nevertheless, my nephew here, my son, asked me to step up and say a few words. So I hope I can be of some use and helpful that way.
Okay, Auntie, once again, thank you. And we'll go down to a kind of a next kind of a question. And so growing up, maybe some stories, or maybe some good on the importance or the protocols and etiquettes, kind of around the fireplace. Or maybe you can kind of elaborate on that, maybe all the goodness through family, friends, and things like that you would like to share.
Growing up around the Native American Church, we have a way, a protocol, and there's duties and responsibilities for the men folk and the women folk. And there's places, there's where to be, when to be, and some of the stories I recall, just seeing a lot of respect displayed in there by the elders. My father used to take me into meetings when I was a little girl, maybe 3-4 years old. My mother used to take me in, and I remember waking up early in the morning, getting to drink water, getting to noticed the power and the safety, the security in the ceremonies, feeling loved and feeling comforted. Those are the things that, this way of worship brings to us. As Native people, we've endured many turmoils, many hardships, and some of us come from generations of that, and that generational trauma, came on to us as innocent children. And when we go into the church, we get to be in that ceremony. We get to feel good, feel protected. I remember growing up in poverty, not having much of anything, not even having really decent clothes to wear to school. And I remember going in and being able to wear a peyote shawl. I remember being able to, a couple of my brothers fixed peyote fans. And I remember as a young teenager being able to have that fan. And I remember going in those ceremonies and feeling like I was somebody. That's the way the medicine made me feel. Made me feel loved, included. The ceremonial prayers made me feel that I had a purpose in life, and there was more to our lives than just what we see going on, going to work, going to school, going to our job, and going home, and the mundane activities of everyday life. The prayers in those ceremonies, they spoke of, life that had to do with purpose. And that's the way they prayed over us, those old folks. So those are one of the best memories I have, is being comforted, being important, feeling counted, feeling like you belong. And one of the most innate, important things a human being needs is that sense of belonging. And that's what our way of worship provides for us.
Okay, Auntie, we're going down to the next question here. Once again, I know as you grew up and you had a lot of good teachings, a lot of good mentors, a lot of good prayers and good efforts. So with that being said, you wanted to exercise all the goodness, so you wanted to further your education, and you wanted to make that good movement. So you went down to Oklahoma. And then being so far away from home, you got to meet nice, good relatives down in the Oklahoma area that utilize this good holy medicine. So maybe you could kind of share a little bit of history, like that, all the good relatives you met.
Yeah, a lot of the main thrust of the encouragement from our elders and our mother and father was to get an education, become educated, and learn to take care of yourself, learn to watch out for yourself, your family, your people, and learn to help your people through education. And one of the things that I was fortunate to do was get a scholarship to go to the University of Oklahoma in Norman. And so I went down there and I met some girls on campus, and one of them said, my family goes to peyote meetings. Maybe you could come home with me this weekend. And so I got a chance to go up to Pawnee, Oklahoma, and meet Sid Moore Sr. and Pearl Moore, and I got to meet the family. I got to make friendships and attend meetings with some very powerful people that come from different Oklahoma tribes, Parrish Williams. And some of these men were gifted healers, and some of them were wonderful, kind, caring gentlemen, Ron Harris, and so these kind of folks I got to become acquainted with, and I got to take in meeting with them, and what an honor, what a privilege to get to be exposed to that while I was going through school down there. And so I was adopted, taken in to one of the families, and to this day still remain thankful for my mother, Sylvester Shields, the Moore family that took me in that way. And so I really was exposed to that generous, kind, peyote people, how they have meetings, all their good prayers and words and teachings, all their good songs, all the beautiful culture down there. I was so thankful to find like a home away from home. That's what it felt like. And so I want to make mention of that, my Oklahoma relatives like that. the good people, the good family, kinship that we come across through this way of worship.
Okay, we're gonna go down to another question here, Auntie. And in today's world, we have to have laws, that we're governed by. We all know this medicine's federally protected by the government. So, with that being said, back in 1978, American Indian Religious Freedom Act came out. And then back in 94, the amendments of American Indian Religious Freedom Act. Maybe if you could kind of shine light on maybe on how what it means or how effective more it could be, because it seems like it's a law that's not being enforced by the government. Like we're trying to shine light on it in a way where it's more effective. So maybe if you can kind of touch base on that, there's some encouragement about it.
Okay, back in 1991 and 92, 93, I had the unique opportunity to work for the United States Senate. And during that time, the relatives that I worked with, we worked with the World Council of Churches. And we got some amendments to the American Indian Religious Freedom Act. And it is behooving to me that the people, the indigenous peoples, the native peoples of this land, we have to basically fight for our First Amendment right, which is to religious freedom. And I'm repeating a lot of things that maybe everybody's heard, but when people came over from Europe, they were fleeing from not being able to worship and believe the way they wanted to. And then they came over and the laws started to stifle and stymie the indigenous peoples here, the Indian people here. So it's dichotomy, it's just a reversal that here we are now fighting for our religious freedom. And still in 2024, we're seeing we need to participate in this the normal, regular political process, so that we can embellish, we can enhance the American Indian Religious Freedom Act, so that we can protect our holy medicine, and we can make amendments to it so that some way, somehow, we can have this still available for our next generations and those up ahead of us. We find ourselves in a position that we're seeking some legislative remedies and to strengthen and to give more enforcement from that law. That's what we seek today, and we need help. We need help in that area.
Okay, Auntie, we're going on to the next question here in this interview, and we're going down, to this good, wonderful medicine, the peyote. We know our non-natives, kind of labeled that, gave it that name, but to us and Hidatsa relatives, it's Mahabari Wahaba, kind of. That's how we say it. It's a good, wonderful medicine. It's a good medicine in a way that helps so many of our relatives. So as for yourself, what does this good medicine? What does this medicine, mean to you? And what do you remember about the elders, talked about this medicine?
From a lot of good history, the peyote was brought to different tribes along the way from the south, and it was brought to them by a woman, and this woman needed help. And so, just starting from that premise, this peyote means a lot to me personally, my family, my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. And so the significance, the power of the holy medicine, that's what we call it in the Hidatsa language. Mahabari, Mahaba, is holy medicine. And so we look back on the teachings of the origination, even the ways of worship, how women were allowed in the ceremony. There's a story behind that. A lady wanted some prayers, and they said, if you come in with that tobacco, you're going to not get turned away. So that's how a woman came into the ceremony in the morning with that tobacco in hand, and they were going to have the water, bring the water in the morning. So that's how things began, what I am told from our Oklahoma relatives, the stories they shared with us. So in there, the protocols of just in general, are all tribes, our cultures, the protocols of the power of the women, the protocols of the giver of life, the respect. We were young ladies and told by our elders, respect yourself, respect what you have as a woman, the power you have, and don't take it lightly. Treat people kindly, and take care of your family, take care of yourself. I mean, all those good things about being the female, being the matriarch. And then we move into the portion of the ceremonies where the women bring in the water in the morning. We're told that is the most powerful prayer because it covers all the rest of the prayers that were said throughout the night. And so some of us have been fortunate to get to sit in that seat that represents all motherhood and the holiness of that. So I think that, what this medicine means to me is it grounds us as women. It grounds us and gives us a direction and gives us a way to, women go through a lot, and women run a household, and they take care of everybody, and they have to know where everything's at. They know placement, and they know structure and order. That's a woman's work. That's how we were told. And so we take care of everything, and we take care of our family that way. We're the first ones up and in the morning, and then the last ones to bed. I mean, those kind of things is the work that we do, and not be lazy, not be forgetting our responsibilities. So all those things come into play with part of the role of the Native American Church and part of the protocol of it. It takes a man and a woman, we're told, to complete the ceremony. But the medicine means a lot to me and my family, and it's a sense of belonging. And I am so thankful that this is my own personal belief, but the medicine chooses you. A lot of people go in meetings and it's not for them. And some go in there and struggle at first, but they go back again, and then they're believers of the faith, and they're light carriers for it. The medicine chooses you. That's my personal belief. And if you've been chosen, then you're going to enjoy yourself in there. You're going to find comfort in there. But not everybody does. So they try it, and maybe it's not for them. But nevertheless, this I can say I am thankful that I am a part of this religion, a part of this ceremony, a part of this way of life, this way of worship.
All right, Auntie, we'll go down to another question. Thank you very much, taking time out of your day. So we'll go down to, we'll ask, around the fireplace, around the Native American Church, we know it's based on love, faith, hope, charity, and all the goodness that it has instilled in all of us. What is something that you, maybe a testimony that you would like to share, or maybe a story, or something, a good expression that you might have heard, that really instilled in you, and you utilize it here today? So maybe you could share a story or a testimony.
One of the things that really impact me is just learning about different tribes too, and I was reading a book about I believe she's Comanche, and she's a healer, and her name was Sinapia, and she was an eagle doctor from tribes in Oklahoma, and she healed people And so this is just one of the many, many stories where all the white men doctors gave up, and they brought a young lady in, and she was having a hard time breathing, and so they brought her in, and this Sanapia, this medicine woman healer, fed her peyote and prayed, and worked with her on the way she was taught to do healing. And this young lady, miraculously, when they carried her in, she had to lay down. Then throughout the night, she was able to sit up. And then in the morning, she walked out of that teepee. I mean, those kind of miraculous stories of healing, we're taught about Almighty God and Creator. We're taught about the healing components of prayer and medicine and faith. And in the twinkle of an eye, the Almighty God can heal you. And so through that kind of power of prayer and that kind of way of worship, we have a unique relationship with nature, with plant life, animal life, and we have a belief system. And in there, those deities, those healing qualities of the holiness, the side of nature, there's a holy side to it. All that can come into play through healing, and that's what heals us, and the miraculous healing we receive throughout the Native American church. Many people can share these kind of stories.
Okay, going down to the next question here. I just want to ask you, we all know today, 2024, our holy medicine, the peyote, mescaline, however you want to address it. We all know there's challenges out there that the mainstream interests that are trying to make it pharmaceutical and therapeutic, and do all these kind of things to it, if you was to, express yourself as a grassroots, female, as a grassroots Native American church member, what would you say to them, to maybe they'll have a better understanding or have some consideration for our way of life?
I would, if I could address, the lawmakers who could help us impact change so that we can have protections in place for our holy medicine. One of the things that I would ask of all of you is to find a way in your heart and your mind to oblige me in what I'm going to ask of you. And that is, even though you don't understand, try to have it in your mind and heart to hear us, Native peoples. There's only a few of us left, and we want to worship the way with freedom, and we want to have access to our sacred sites, our medicines. We want to have access to be able to use our eagle feathers, all those things that, I just would, out of respect, ask that you would hear me. We have a unique way in relationship with nature. We understand in general the natural law, and so there is the legalistic entities. There's the laws, the modern day laws, and within our confines of our reservation, we have tribal laws, we have state laws, we have federal laws we have to comply with, and then within that, we have amongst ourselves kinship, clanship laws we follow. But above, overarching in all of that is the natural law. And I would ask that you would find it in your mind and heart to give us a little bit of room to consideration for that, our respect for that natural law. And in that natural law, we don't question Almighty God. In that natural law, we believe in mysticism. We believe in the mystery. We believe you don't have to know everything. So we have respect for that. And in so doing, in the spirit of our non-Indian brothers and sisters who are out there lost. They're seeking something, and they have a hole in their heart that only God can fill. And so they're seeking something, and in so doing, they're trying to discover and research these properties of that holy medicine, and they're trying to take it and commercialize it. And in so doing, there's something sacrilegious. There's something very unholy and disrespectful about that. And so I would ask that you would see that, this unique relationship we have, nature, plant life, everything has a spirit. All those things, our teachings are still there, and we're still teaching our young people about that special relationship. And so it's hard maybe for you to understand in your way of thinking, the way that you were raised, but I implore you and ask that you would oblige me and that you would hear me, to try to understand where we're coming from, and I feel bad for people out there that are lost, that are seeking something they've been missing. I live in North Dakota, and there's Russians here, there's Germans here, but when you look at the origin, they're all tribal. We're all tribal. We all come from a tribe at one time. We all came from a way, a cultural belief, a system, a community. And so all of theirs are lost. And what little bit we have left here among our Mandan Hidatsa peoples, among the Native American Church of North America, the tribes affiliated with this way of worship, we still have some ways that we want to follow and respect and adhere to. So it's hard for you to understand maybe, but I just would ask that you would have that due respect, and that you would change these laws so that we can conserve where our medicine grows. Change these laws so that we can, we're going to approach, this way of worship, keeping in mind that we never thought we'd come to this, that these laws needed to be amended. And we never foresaw anybody disrespecting our holy medicine, taking it in a whole nother direction. So I would ask that you would help us, and that you would do your best to understand us.
All right, Auntie, appreciate you very much here today, taking time out. So in closing here, some final comments, maybe an overview of our way of life, maybe some encouragement to all the Native American Church family, friends and relatives from the Northwest, East and South, maybe some encouragement of what they can do to help, or what they can do to promote the goodness of our way of life, for our children and grandchildren. So
just along the lines of what my son here is asking, we come from cultural people, cultural teachings, and in those teachings, the old folks spoke of prophecies. They prophesied over what was going to happen up ahead, and one of the things they spoke of was the struggles we were going to have. And so I know I visit with some of my family. I grew up listening to this kind of talk about the Native American people, about the prophecies, about how things were going to get difficult at a time, and how we were encouraged to be prayed up, encouraged to pray, encouraged to take care of one another, love one another. And in this day and age, it's very hard. I understand the struggle. I also walk along those same lines where families are broken up, and I suffer from that too. It makes you have a pitiful heart, and it makes you have life be hard. Where there's more of us, where we can help each other, where we can build each other up, it's easier. And but when you're alone and you just got a few people helping you, it's more difficult. So I just encourage everybody to do their best to be a good representative of your family, be a good representative of your clan, your kinship, your clanship, your tribe. Be a good ambassador. on behalf of all Indian people, on behalf of Native American Church, be respectful like that to the medicine. Carry yourself the best way you can, in whatever way possible, so that you can be a good example. They were saying people can speak of love, but love is an action. So those of you who roll up your sleeves and try to help out in any way you can, there's a blessing in that. We're told there's a blessing, and God doesn't overlook that. He sees everything you do on behalf of your beautiful people, your beautiful family, the beautiful Native American Church family. There's a lot that has taken place over the years, and these prophecies are coming true. I remember going to Canada with my grandpa Alfred Driver, and I remember only having 3 singers in that meeting, and I remember the meal being very very simple, and I remember that family who had that puberty meeting. They were really thankful to my grandpa Alfred for conducting that service. And now today in that community, beautiful music comes out of there from the men and the women singing in our way of worship. Every time I meet Canadian relatives, I think about that, about the humble beginnings, and when the medicine went up there, and how it started, and how everything expanded from there. And then I look at the Native American Church for the future of it. The prophecies. If we're a bona fide religion, just like any religion, the Catholic Church, the Lutherans, the Protestants, if we're a religion alongside of them, then we have that religious arm, that power, that strength, and we can develop our church into a strengthened. The prophecies say that they're going to come from all different walks of life, different nationalities, and they're going to come to the Native people, and they're going to be hungry, they're going to be thirsty, and we're going to be like the eagle, and we're going to take them under our wing. That's what we're going to do. That's what the prophecies say. Because when your children are hungry and our children are hungry, we're going to help each other out. If your children are thirsty and our children are thirsty, we're going to watch out for each other. And those are along the loving Christian teachings, where Almighty God is asking us to be a good Christian, love one another, take care of one another. So I just encourage everybody along those lines, and all I'm speaking to you today about is what was told to me. All these teachings are not my words, they're what was told to me, and I'm just sharing them what the old folks said. So I hope I represented them well and shared their teachings well today, and I encourage everybody to be that good ancestor, be that good person, and difficult as it may be prayed up, and be mindful of who you really are and where you really come from. So I'll leave you with those words.
Oh, Auntie.